What's up, Head Kick Radio listeners? We are back, and I've got my boy in studio again. Everybody, John Squatch Mejia.
What's happening?
What's up, buddy?
Nothing, man. Just kicking it, just plugging around, doing shit.
That's what's up. So, I've been doing all these episodes, trial and error.
Yeah.
And a mutual friend of ours has given me a good suggestion that when I have guests on, which I don't even consider you a guest on the second time around, but you are a guest. So I need to start with their background. So my friend, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Oh, shit. It's a tough question, man. So I'm just a kid from Chicago, just doing my shit, If you're asking about how I started in martial arts, if you're asking what I do, there's a bunch of different ways. I mean, I do a lot of shit, but
I got this. How do you want people to know who you are? Like, what do you want them to know about you? Like, when they think John Mejia, what do you want them to think?
I just want them to think I'm the baddest motherfucker alive. No, I'm kidding.
That's how you go into that
kidding.
background then.
No, I'm kidding. I'm just a kid who just fucking used to play hockey growing up, and I thought, like every other young hockey player, that I was going to make it to the NHL. Obviously, that didn't happen, and then all those roads led me to jiu-jitsu, which led me to Head Kick Radio, which led me to, everything else. You know what I'm saying? So we can say Head Kick Radio has propelled my career.
Dude, that's insane, because it's only been a couple of months.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you talk a couple times on the fucking podcast, next thing you know, you're just a legend. You got
a big head, more money in your pocket.
Yeah, dude, this radio show, this podcast has literally paid for at least 2 Monster Energy drinks. So, I mean, that's more Monster Energy drinks than I had last time, so.
Dang, dude, I never thought about that. I feel like I'm giving back to the world finally.
Yeah, you're definitely fucking killing it out here.
Dude, I'm just glad to have you back.
Dude, it's awesome to be back, man. I haven't seen you since last time, and I know that I said I was going to come on a little bit sooner, but it's just been crazy for me. Work's been crushing me. I started a new gig working with Bitcoin ATM company, which is pretty dope. I mean, I'm super into cryptocurrency and stuff like that, but this is great. It's long hours. It's basically a startup, so we're all grinding crazy hard, just hoping that we can turn this thing into something gigantic and make some money.
Dude, living the dream.
If you want to call it that, yeah.
Well, I mean, like that. Think about it. Like when I started, Head Kick Radio, the brand and everything. Like you start up something that you believe in and something that you want to work hard for, or you wouldn't be putting in all this hard work or all these long hours.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you heavily invested into Bitcoin?
I mean, I'm not as much anymore. I got out when it was pretty high, and then next thing you know, like it's kind of stable right now. So I'm thinking about getting back in, but it's just not, for me, it's not the right time for me. I'm just working on like my personal shit. I'm not so concerned about investing anything right now. I just want to invest in myself.
Okay. Well, I mean, investing in yourself's investing in your job and this company now, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's the most important thing you can invest in is yourself.
Are you learning a lot of cool tips and tricks of the trade?
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. I mean, I do a lot of the grunt work right now just because I'm the low guy on the totem pole, but that's, you got to earn your bones, right?
Yeah, I think most of us have been there. That especially all of us listening, we're not probably not born into money or anything special, so we're having to work hard every day.
Yeah, I wish I was born into money. Fuck me, that'd be sick.
I know, but I mean, do you though? Because would you be the same person?
No, probably not. I'd probably be a spoiled piece of shit. But
would you have as much hate for growing up wealthy and with all those benefits?
No, I mean, it's not like I grow up poor. It's not like I grew up poor, but like
right.
You just wish you were a trust fund kid sometimes, and other times you're like, you know what? It's good to earn what you have, and it's good. It's an honest living, and that's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? That's the American dream.
Yeah, it is, man. Like some people just want it handed to them, and then a bunch of us, other people, want to work hard and reap the rewards from our gratification and satisfaction of hard work.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm just happy to be here, man. I'm just happy to just be kicking around, just doing my shit, and just keeping a good pace, keeping a good pace with life, keeping a good pace with work, keeping a good pace with family and all that stuff. So like that to me is important, is keeping a manageable pace.
Yeah. And so you're a new homeowner, right? Or
I don't own it, but my girlfriend and I, we decided to move out of our 1-bedroom apartment. Now we rent a house in Jefferson Park. super nice. A little bit of flooding issues in the basement, but aside from losing a desk and some clothes and shit and some art that she did, nothing too crazy.
Oh no, I hate to hear that part, the personal art.
Yeah, it's tough. You can't really put a dollar amount on it because like a lot of it's sentimental value, a lot of it's like hard work and stuff like that on her end. But it sucks.
To me, it's kind of you're losing a vision, even though you had the vision once and you put it down. But to recreate that same vision, I always fear that it never happens again. Like lightning doesn't strike twice.
No, I mean I don't think she'll be able to recreate that exact thing that she was looking to do. But she can get close. But you know what? Like at the same time, she can always look at it and think of it as like this was like a tester. This is like the masterpiece. That sort of thing. I felt bad because I know how much that shit meant to her.
Yeah. Damn, I'm kind of bummed for her and for you and all that, but man, I don't know about you, but today, like lately, it's been weird days.
Oh, dude, it's been today's a weird day. Just I think it has a lot to do with the weather. I mean, it was real sunny and nice, kind of warm. It's it's raining. And now it's sunny again, and it's nice. It's cooling off. It's just that Chicago weather.
It's wild, man. I'm not used to it, growing up a Southern boy.
I mean, we all can't have nice dirt roads and country girls and,
cold beer in your hand.
Exactly.
In a back road.
Something like that, and your dog and your truck and your shotgun on.
Okay, hang on. Time out, sir. I feel like you're quoting every country song.
I mean, I didn't make the template, but I guess that's what it is, right?
I mean, that's what I understand.
I mean,
but let's dig deep today, my friend. I've been thinking about something a lot lately, especially since I had the conversation with Josh on the podcast and calling myself out, and then just thinking about it deeper and deeper and looking at my schedule and stuff. And I want to talk about like how do you prioritize your time? And I say that like I think to myself like, a lot of days I want to be the best jiu-jitsu practitioner in the world. You know what I mean? But then there's other days that I'm like, oh, I got to focus on head kick radio. I've got to focus on schoolwork. I've got to focus on my 9 to 5. And then I start to think about like, okay, how am I going to become the best jiu-jitsu practitioner in the world? And I, then I'm like, oh, I want to do Muay Thai and things like that.
Right. I mean, this is the hardest question you have to ask because I'm terrible at time management. I'll give my all to something until I can no longer give my all to something, and that's when the juggling act starts to happen, right? So it's how many balls can you keep in the air at a time? And once one of them drops, can you keep the rest of them afloat, or does everything come crashing down? So I think I went through that a little bit back right before I talked to you last, and I'm starting to get everything kind of sorted out. Everything's kind of getting normalized. Things are working well for me. The one thing I haven't been able to get back in is get back in the gym, like heavily. Like I want to get back in like once, twice, 3 times a week if I can, but like work's killing me right now. So, I coach hockey and that takes up my nights, and I work at with the Bitcoin ATM company, and I'm there 8:30 to 5:30, 8:30 to 6, run home, have a meal with my girlfriend, and then run back to the rink, which is down the street from work. And it's just like it doesn't stop. My days start at 7 and they end at 12:30, and we're just back at it again. And like the fucked up part is that it's just right in the like jiu-jitsu's right in the heart of all of that. So it's like if I don't get a day off from hockey, there's no chance I can train. Then I get a day off from hockey, and it's like, what am I gonna do? Do I go to the gym? Do I go out to dinner with my girl? Do I just go see my parents? Like what do I do? Do I just lay down and just kick it for myself? So I'm a terrible time management person, so this is the wrong question to ask me.
Well, this sounds like to me the perfect time to talk it out. So I mean, you obviously you think about this because you can lay out like, okay, well, what should I do? What should I do? Like, I have this free time. Do I go to the gym? Do I hang with my girl? Do I, focus on hockey stuff? Do I maybe go see my parents? Do I go, hang out with friends? Like, do I do extra work? Like, what is that where your value system comes into play of like, maybe I should be doing this instead of this? And do you get upset with yourself when you maybe waste time or in your eyes or whatever you want to call it,
I mean, you just got to think about what's the highest priority in your life, right? You got to prioritize your life. You got to think about what is the most important thing to you, you know? Right now, the most important thing to me is doing really well at this job, at this gig that I just got, you know, followed by, you know, continuing a wonderful relationship with my girlfriend, continuing my family relationship with them, and, you know, then hockey comes in there, and then, you know, so if we wanted to list it, you could, but it's hard to keep everything number one, so something's got to take a back seat, and it's just what's important. And for me, like, the hardest part is that jiu-jitsu is, I hate saying it, but it's always going to be there. You know what I'm saying? The mats will always be there. Will my competition career always be there? Fuck, that's the real question. You know what I'm saying? Will I ever, you know, can I take a run at ADCC at 33 years old? Sure. Why not? You know, but like right now, am I in the prime of my life? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So like what's got to give, you know? So like right now, like jiu-jitsu's not going to bring, right now it's not bringing money in like that. Like it's not going to be the primary thing that's going to feed me, feed her, feed the dogs, feed everybody else, you know? So
yeah,
I've got to,
I want to keep on that right there. Like when it comes to jiu-jitsu, like I don't get in the gym enough, especially for my own liking. But I, you know, you're doing professional jiu-jitsu. I've been to your XFO match, and you continue to answer the bell when it's called upon you. But I think of jiu-jitsu now more for myself as like it's my mental health. Like how much is that worth to me?
Oh yeah.
And like, do you think about the value that it holds to you? And when you miss like just a day that you think you should go, a day you want to squeeze in, how does that affect you in your daily life?
So
and what does it do to your mental health?
So the days that I can go and the days that I want to go, which is, you know, I want to go every day if I can. Like that's still like that itch is still there. It's not like it's gone away. It's not like, fuck, I'm not gonna, whatever. Like I want to go every single day that I can, every single day if I can. But, you know, sometimes you just gotta be an adult and take care of your shit, pay your bills, fucking, you know, make sure you're making enough money to make ends meet. So for me, that's super important. And, you know, I also have right now it's hockey season. So I have 36 kids that I gotta take care of, you know what I'm saying? 36 kids who need my help, they need my guidance, they need to know that I'm invested in them, they need to know that I'm all in for them, because if I'm not all in for them, they're not going to be all in for me,
right?
You know, so that's the hard part here. I just, you know, I wish I could get in more. For me, that's tough, and if I could get in more, I think my overall mental health would be better. Right now I feel like a fucking psychopath. Like the highs are high, you know, and the lows are just like fuck. It's just like there's nothing more than the weight of somebody else crushing you and letting you know that like, oh, this is not, it's, you know, it sucks, but like the weight of the world weighs you down too, and like that is just it's just an analogy, and it's basically a metaphor for my
good, bro.
My bad. I'm hitting the mic, just doing stupid shit.
It's not MMA on my mic, my friend.
Sorry, dude. That's a nice mic.
Don't knock it out,
sorry,
Mike Tyson.
But the one thing is that like, you know, you'll feel yourself, you know, when you're faced with tough situations and when you're on the mats and you feel somebody else smashing you, just crushing down on you. That's what like that weight's actually physically doing that to you, but like in your mind you mentally create that same weight on your head when you're not doing things like that, or like, you know, pressure from work, pressure from everything else, pressure to perform, that all weighs you down too, but you don't actually feel what that weight feels like until you're being smashed on the mat, and then it's like, oh look, I feel better, I have this release, like I feel like, you know what, like maybe I didn't have the best day, maybe I didn't put it all out there, but I still got some good work in.
Yeah. See, and that's something I've been thinking about a lot, is I feel like my mental health is not in a good place if I can't make it to the gym twice a week. And I just don't know how you can keep grinding, keep taking care of those kids, relationships, new job and struggle, and then kind of, you know, deal with and cope, because like I know how the weight of the world can get to me. And I know I'm no different than anybody else, and I think that's why this is such a kind of a big topic, and I really want to talk about this and dig deep into it. Is what's the longest you can go without jiu-jitsu, you think, before you're just like having mental breakdowns, like it seems like every hour, every couple of minutes kind of thing. How long do you think you could go without it?
Oh, shit. I don't know. I mean, it's been... I mean, I sat on the mats and talked with Josh the other day. I didn't get to train, but I talked to them in the evening, probably 2 weeks ago on Thursday. So, I mean, that was nice. It was a good conversation. I think that really, like, helped a lot. But other than that, I mean, like, I've probably gone in, like, once a month for the past 2-3 months, and it's brutal, and that's, like, the worst I've ever done. And, like, for me, like, I feel it building up. I feel that pressure on me, and I feel everything else just, like, I feel everything tenfold, you know, and when things are going great, you know what I'm saying? I'm able to see that they're going great, but maybe I'm not enjoying them as much as I would normally, just because, like, it doesn't feel like everything is perfect yet. Things still feel out of place. And, you know, we can chalk that up to, like, I just moved a month ago. You know what I'm saying? Just moved September 1st into this house, and, like, that move was short notice. You know what I'm saying? I had a week to figure everything out, and it was it was an opportunity that just, like, you know, I couldn't pass it up, you know? So we're, like, scrambling to find subletters, scrambling to find, you know, make sure everything works, scrambling to get people to move, you know. Thank God, like, everybody at the gym helped me out tremendously to, you know, help move me, you know, scrambling to get all that stuff done, and it's just been nonstop. So, like, every weekend where, like, I would have, like, a, you know, like, maybe a Saturday in the afternoon to get after it, like, I can't, because it's there's something going on. There's always something to do, and I don't mind being busy. I like it, but at the same time, like, I miss just, like, getting fucking demolished and getting crushed in the gym. Like, to me, that is the most glorious feeling, you know, just that struggle, you know, because that real life struggle, it puts whatever is on your mind into perspective. You know, it lets you see that life's not so hard. You're making it hard because, you know, you're in your own head, or, you know, maybe it allows you to clear your mind for that hour and a half, and for that hour and a half, nothing else matters but you, your training partners, the mats, the technique. And to me, that's the biggest thing. Yeah.
See, when I was in practice the other night, I realized when I'm in my own head that I'm never present in the moment. Do you find yourself that way a little bit? But I want to get to this, and the reason I say that is because Jacob, I owe this guy so much. He's
Fight Chicks Jake.
Yeah, Fight Chicks Jake. He's a godsend in my life. Like, he's
a good man.
I appreciate this man so much. But he tagged me, you know, when he took a picture of us, you know, guys, because Jake's pretty cool about
yeah, he's usually good at social media on the Instagram and stuff like that.
He is. And I want to read this because when I was going home on my long journey home after practice, I didn't have the best day at the gym. And you know those days, like, it's always therapeutic to go to the gym, and the days that you're the nail. But it's not like, some days it's good to be the nail because you learn a lot. But then there's days that you're the nail and you can't quite figure out why you're the nail, but you know there's a learning experience in there. Yeah. And mine came through this post, and I want to read it verbatim from what Jacob said because it really hit at home with me. And he just said, death rolls therapy. Jiu-jitsu is 100% in the moment, where all pain and worry leaves your mind, and kill or die is all that matters. Wow. Ultimate meditation.
Wow.
And then I thought about that, and I was like, dude, I've been in my head so much lately. Like, I can't get out of it. But I realized that, you know, and I felt like I didn't get anything from jiu-jitsu, but I realized in each of those roles, when I was just getting hammered, trying to solve the puzzle, like, okay, how am I going to get out from bottom? How am I going to get on top? How am I going to sweep this person? How am I going to, you know, stay on top, keep the pressure on, look for the subs, all of that stuff that goes into it. And then I realized, I said, yo, dude, that was when you were out of your head for the first time in days.
Yeah. I mean, that's my dad used to tell me that when I played hockey. It's something I tell the kids now, and it's something that I hold true, is like, you know, when you get on the ice, or when you get on the mats, or when you're doing anything that is a reactionary sport, you know, once stuff becomes reactionary, I think you're at the point now where jiu-jitsu is starting to become reactionary, and you're starting to not think so much about it. You're just more trying to, you know, navigate the situation you've been put in. Maybe you're not putting people in the best situations yet, and like the most compromising for them, and it's not the most it's not the best scenario for you, but it's a struggle that you can navigate, right? So while you're navigating that, you're not thinking about anything else but surviving, or you're not thinking about anything else but finishing. You're not thinking about anything else but winning. And that's for, in hockey, my dad used to say, for that 90 minutes, nothing else matters. You know what I'm saying? It's just you on the ice, and it's your form of expression, and just go. You know what I'm saying? So you can leave whatever girlfriend troubles, boyfriend troubles, bullshit, whatever it is, just check it at the door. You can pick it up on the way out. You know what I'm saying? Just leave it at the coat check and just go grab it when you're done, or you can leave it there and not pick it up if you want to, So yeah, jiu-jitsu is truly therapeutic, and it's something that a lot of people don't think about. It's something that a lot of people don't what's the word I'm looking for? They don't value it enough. You know what I'm saying? They don't put enough emphasis on that like they don't think about that. There's no like sitting down and being introspective about it. Like, hey, like today I got my shit pushed in, but like I didn't think about, this bullshit that I've been dealing with. I didn't think about the test that was coming up tomorrow that's been just weighing on me. I didn't think about, any family drama. I didn't think about the girls that I've been, hanging out with. I didn't think about any of that. So like for me, that hour and a half to just, it's cleansing, and there's no other way to say it. And you know what, even if you're not winning and you're just losing, or you're just getting your ass beat, like it's still cleansing. You're still not worried about whatever's weighing on you. And to me, that's the biggest thing, is when you're weighed down, you're not able to express yourself 100% anyway. So, in life, per se.
Yeah. No, and I think that's why jiu-jitsu, everything you do on the mats, just translates to what happens in life. And even a bad day is on the mats is still the best day in like, at least in my life. I don't know if I can speak for everybody, but I feel like everyone that does, practice a martial art of some sort, there is that feeling of, okay, I may have, gotten hammered today, but what did I learn? And if you can walk away with one little tidbit, one little piece of information that maybe it's not a technique, but it's a piece of information that'll help you grow, of like, maybe I should look for this next time because they were doing this and I couldn't quite solve it. Maybe this will work. And then you just take that little information into the next, session and this and that. And I think life's a lot like that. And I kind of want to jump into like the riding the highs and lows that you mentioned earlier, because I find myself like, I tell myself I'm not an emotional person, but that's the biggest lie I believe I can tell anybody. And I do tell people that I am severely emotional now that I look back on myself and think about it. Is like, man, when I ride the highs, I ride them hard. Like, especially like when it comes to this podcast, I'm lining up, sweet, guests. I've got some coming up in the future. My emotions are skyrocketed. And then like things that I want to come true will put me down in the gutters, or, like a bad night on the mats or something, because I'm not working as hard and pushing as hard as I should be. And then I tell myself, I'm like, man, I could have gone harder. Why didn't I? And then I find myself like sifting through all the BS excuses and things like that my brain comes through. I'm like, dude, don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to yourself. But riding those highs and lows on the mats and in life, like, how do you navigate that? And like, we'll talk with life first, and then how maybe the mats help you translate it, deal with it, whatever.
I mean, in life, I'm not outwardly too emotional. I'm pretty good at internalizing things and taking them and seeing multiple sides and different perspectives, and being able to take criticism very well. That's something that's hard to, to handle, especially if you have somebody telling you that A, you're not good at something, B, like you need to fix this, or C, most people are very, they're very headstrong. It's not necessarily ego. You're just headstrong. You're set in your ways. This is how you do it. This is how I do it. And they're not open to that. And that to me is what it's what causes you to struggle navigating highs and lows, right? So when you're riding those highs, like, to be honest, I try not to ride them too high. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not waiting for it to drop. I'm not waiting for it to go bad. I'm not waiting for it to go stale or to get hurt or whatever. I'm just, I'm being not necessarily cautious, but I'm just, understanding that, like, look, this is super awesome. And if you want it to continue being awesome, you have to continue to do things to make it awesome. Like, yeah, there's other things that you can't control. There's outside forces that you're going to struggle with. Like, you can't control everything, but you know what you can control is you can control what like you bring to it. You can control that. You can control your work ethic. You can control what you say. You can control what your perception is. You can control what you feel. But you can't control what everybody else puts on you. You can't control what the person next to you is doing. You can't control what the other, you know what I'm saying, what could happen in life. But you just need to roll with those punches, you know what I'm saying? So when you see something come up and you see something, you know, get thrown at you, you either need to block it, you need to duck, or you need to fight it. You know what I'm saying? So you can let it go past you, you can let it hit you and let it sting, or you can just fight it if you want and see what happens. But a big thing is trying not to sweat the small stuff.
How do you approach that? Like, do you catch yourself riding those highs? You're like, oh, I'm high right, like I'm riding this high right now. Like, I need to. Do you cut it off? And do you, like you're just saying, do you let it, like the highs and lows? Do you let them just hit you? Do you duck them? Do you dive? You know, dodge, weave, whatever the dodgeball reference is. You know what I mean?
Dip, dodge, duck, dive, dodge, or whatever it is. Yeah.
You know, like, how do you approach that? Because I think we're all searching for answers. If I felt like I had the answers, I'd be so off.
I don't know, man. You just, I think the biggest thing is finding somebody you can lean on when you are in a tough spot. You know what I'm saying? I think it's harder to navigate the lows than it is the highs, right? You know, the highs, everybody's happy for you, everybody's pumped for you. You know what I'm saying? You can do no wrong. Like, oh, awesome. You know, your podcast is taking off. Awesome, good job. What about if it wasn't? Like, you need to find somebody you can lean on a little bit. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to use them as a crutch, but it's somebody that you can lean on that can kind of propel you to springboard you back into that high. That doesn't necessarily mean you should navigate it on your own and always look to somebody, but it helps when you have a good support system. It helps when you have somebody you can talk to, just, you know, a friend, a girlfriend, your family, anybody, because those are the people that keep you grounded. The people that know you best are the ones who never let you take off and float off into the atmosphere. They're the ones who push you to dream. You know what I'm saying? They're the ones who push you to dream and reach for the stars. But they're not going to ever let you go they're not going to let you fly too close to the sun like Icarus, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I know what you're saying.
So, like, your family's going to keep you grounded. They're going to always tell you, like, my dad always tells me, like, dude, like, you ain't shit. Like, you know, be humble still, you know?
Mm-hmm. So I've got friends like that, and I appreciate those people because, like, when it comes to, like, intimate relationships and things like that, like, I find it harder to tell those people the things that are like bothering me, like when it's not them, right? Like if it's them, like I think I'm a pretty decent communicator, but like the things in life like that are getting to you or whatever,
the things that like they do that kind of,
well, it's not what they do, it's like for example, it could be work that's getting to, like, I don't like to bring that stuff home and complain to people, like just with the mats and stuff like that. Like I don't like to bring that home and complain like, oh man, you know, like I didn't do well today and this and that.
Well, I think in any relationship or any situation, it's healthy to, you know, say like how you're feeling. I mean, I don't think you should hide that in. You know, as men, we're told that we have to be tough and macho and hide. And, you know, I'm not saying you got to go fucking cry in the corner like a softie and be like, oh, baby, like, it's such a bad day. Like, I'm not saying that. Like, you know, like, handle your shit. You know what I'm saying? But, like, if it was a bad one, like, if the person that you're with in an intimate relationship can't handle you in a situation like that, then you know what? Maybe they're not the person for you.
Oh, that's always true.
You know what I'm saying? If they can't handle the fact that, like, hey, listen, you're a human being, you have bad days, and this is how you cope with them, you know, maybe they can tell you that, hey, listen, like, I don't think throwing fucking dishes at the wall when you have a bad day is a good way to handle this. Like, you should handle it like this. You'd be like, oh, yeah, you're right. That is kind of fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
but
you got to be nice when you approach it. But no, I think I meant like that on a different level. It's not like I'm having problems or anything, but...
I mean, if you were, I'm here for you, dog.
Oh, thanks, man. Well, that's why we're hashing some of this stuff out tonight on the podcast. So, but like, I was thinking about that, and the reason I bring this up, because I've had conversations about it with people of... like, you know, sometimes we'll take our daily struggles and we'll bring it onto the mats, you
Absolutely.
know, or we'll take our mat struggles and bring it into our daily lives.
Sure thing.
And you know, that's the whole riding the highs and lows, is like we're always trying to find that balance, but you can never stay into that balance. There's always waves that come in and, you know, disrupt, you know, whether they're good or whether they're
Sure.
bad. That's the course of the waves. And it just, I think riding the highs and lows between, you know, the mat and life, like that is the balance. In my perception and perspective, is that if I didn't have, you know, the time to go to the gym, that when I'm, you know, hitting those lowest of lows in life, that I'm like, man, I really need the mats. And then the mats, will kind of even keel me. And then, the times you're not doing well in the mats, then, maybe life will balance it out, and have that like little infinity kind of thing just back and forth. But that kind of came back to my, time, prioritization of like, man, I want to be the best at this. And so Kyle and I, Kyle Moran, who was on episode 5, I believe, him and I, been friends for a while now, and we get in these deep discussions. And I told him something that I'm actually kind of wavering on my belief on it.
Okay.
And I used to tell him, I go, you can really only focus on 3 to 4 things and give them all of your energy for them to truly manifest or turn out the way you want them to.
I think it's even less.
And that's what I was going to ask you, because now I think it's even less.
It's even less.
What do you think? How many things do you think you can give 100% to become great at, or not make a fool of yourself, let's just say?
So it depends. I mean, I would say 2 things. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can do 2 things, and it doesn't always need to be those only 2 things, right? Like, you can get really great at something and be amazing at something in very, very, very short time. Like, you can put in, I know guys that put in 6-7 years in jiu-jitsu and get their black belts. You know what I'm saying? And that's all they focused on for 6 to 7 years. I know guys who are going to be doctors now. They're finishing their rotations. One of my best friends, he's finishing his clinical rotations, and like that's all he's focused on for the last 10 years. Is becoming a doctor. And I asked him, what else have you been focused? He's like, nothing. Because that is his life, that has consumed his life, and that is what he wants to do, and that's what he's passionate about. Your passions will change. I definitely think that your passions can change. And will you always be passionate about jiu-jitsu? Sure, if it's something that you love, you'll always be passionate for it. But like anything, I think that, you put in whatever time you put into it is what you get out of it, right? You put in half-assed time, you're going to get half-assed, you know what I'm saying? You're going to get half-assed results. Right. But what can you really put in all the time? There's not enough time in the day, right? If you and I didn't work a day job, you would have 14, 15 working hours a day. If you slept 9, you know what I'm saying? If you slept 9 hours, you'd have 15 working hours.
Right.
Let's say you give things 4 hours. What's the math? That's like 3 things, 3 and 0.25 or whatever it is.
Something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
math is not my strong suit.
I used to be good at it, so I got hit in the head a lot.
The Bitcoin's making sense then.
Well, I mean,
let's see, let's get back to that. Defining the balance.
Absolutely.
So when you're putting in that perspective, so let's just say you have 15 working hours a day to find that balance in life. So if you're somebody who could, let's just say, train 8 hours of jiu-jitsu a day.
Sure.
Do you think that's a good thing if you only have 1 or 2 more things, like whether it's family or a hobby of some sort other than jiu-jitsu?
Well, I think that the biggest thing is that once you've achieved a level of competency or achieved a level of, I'm not going to say mastery, because mastery would be like the highest level, but like you achieve somewhere in between competency and mastery.
We'll say you put in your 10,000 hours and earned your black belt, and whether it's, on the mats,
sure,
or whether it's in, being a doctor or whatever it is.
Sure. I mean, if you are a black belt and you've put in those hours, do you necessarily need to continue to put in those hours to still be a black belt? You've achieved your goal.
Well, that's what I want to ask you. Like, when's it okay to taper off? But because we all know you still have to train, whether it's in your profession, whether it's, in your sport, whatever, to at least keep a competency in it. So when's it okay? Is it like, hang on, I guess my original question would be, should you spend a lot of time to get good at something or become great at it, and then taper off once you hit that, black belt, that 10,000 hour achievement kind of thing, and whatever it is, you're like, oh, I can kind of do this with my eyes closed? And is that when it's okay to taper off?
I think if you're a person who, I'm somebody who's good at multitasking, but it's tough. It's tough when you start juggling 4, 5, 6 things. But, I would say that if you're somebody who is interested in starting a martial art, or interested in starting a business, or interested in doing anything like that, you need to throw your whole ass into it, and that needs to be your sole focus, and everything else needs to sit on the back burner, right? And I did that. You know what I'm saying? I did that for jiu-jitsu for 6 or 7 years, or for, we'll call 5.5, 6 years. I did that, and it hurt a lot of relationships. It hurt a lot of people. I wasn't really around too much for my family, you have to think about what matters most to you. And to me, I've always been somebody, I wasn't necessarily chasing a black belt, but I was chasing to be the best. And it's not that I don't want to be the best. It's just that you can always be the best, but you don't necessarily need to be the best competitor in the world. You don't necessarily need to be a 10-time Abu Dhabi champion. You don't need to be any of that. You don't necessarily have to be amazing, but you can still be really, really good at something and still enjoy doing it. And I think the minute that those things start to feel like a chore or like a job, and like you start to not like that, is when you probably should taper off a little bit and just reevaluate, just reassess what's going on, and then just either proceed or don't. And for me, I think that if you stick with one thing, and you do one thing so many times over and over and over again, and you get really good at that one thing, and let's say you achieve mastery of it, why not move on to the next thing to achieve mastery of? You know what I'm saying? Why not move on to the next phase? Maybe it's in the next phase in that scenario. Maybe it's guys who are really good at computer Photoshop and stuff like that, and Final Cut and all those software programs. Like, yeah, they're practicing with that every day, but like for a long time, that was all they did. They only focus on that. They specialize in that. And to me, I think it's better to be a specialist than a jack of all trades. It's better to specialize in one thing than to be able to do a little bit of everything, just because you're never really going to be the person who somebody's going to lean on for complete mastery. You'll be the guy who they'll call. And no offense to any handyman out there, but like there's a difference between being a handyman and being a master electrician, a master, a master woodcrafter. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference in that artist and that craftsmanship, that elite, that elite level of product.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you
is that what you want to be known as? Like, would you rather be known as the master or the jack of all trades?
I'd rather be known as the master, because that means that you could focus on one thing until you got amazing at it. And I know a lot of people that are happy with being a jack of all trade, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with having your hand in a lot of fires. I definitely don't think that it's for me. I think that, right now I have to focus on the things that are going to bring, put money in my pocket and food on the table, and those are things that, I'm getting better at every day. I've really rededicated myself to coaching hockey. I'd assume that I've achieved a level of mastery. Granted, it's not like super high professional NHL level mastery, but like I have a mastery of systems. I have a mastery of technique. I have a mastery of understanding gameplay and strategy. And in that, I can pass that on and impart that knowledge to these players. And to me, that is a huge focus, and that is what's going to, not necessarily help propel my coaching career. Because like I don't care if I move on to a different team that's a higher level. I'm not trying to be a professional coach all day. I do that because I love it. I do that because I'm giving back to the game. I do that. Sorry. I do that because it's important to me. But I think that if you can master one thing and you can get really good at it, that makes you dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Rather than being like, I'm okay at all this stuff. Like,
right. Because see, that thought right there alone has been what's going through my brain for, weeks, months at a time, maybe even a year now or so, or maybe a little more. But I don't, like we were talking about earlier, like I just told you the energy's weird and this and that. So like this feeling it's back more than ever of I want to commit to jiu-jitsu way more than I'm committed now. But then and I tell myself, okay, what suffers? Because, I work a 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. I go to school full time. I take 5 classes a semester. This is my last semester. I, do jiu-jitsu. I do this brand. And like all these things. And then I'm trying to add one more thing in, with this, a person in my life now. And I keep thinking to myself, I'm like, man, I can't give all of me and the best of me to all these things. And yet it's still not even that much. And, and I keep family relationships alive and things like that. I feel like I tell myself like, man, maybe you should just master something. And once you learn to master something, then you can learn to master everything. Because I've kind of heard that saying before.
Sure.
But then I think about like what you just said. Well, when you give all your attention to one thing and you become, really great at it, and you become the black belt level of whatever it is that you're doing, the 10,000 hours, you neglect a lot of stuff along the way.
Absolutely. And you don't stop and smell the roses half the time. And you know what? Like, it's a double-edged sword, right? Is your quality of overall life better? I don't know.
So you know what I'm saying? It'd be that thing like, are you willing to die on that double-edged sword? Because
absolutely,
you may be going up the right side on one, but you're going to fall down on the other.
If you're talking about jiu-jitsu, I mean, are you willing to commit 100% of your life? Are you willing to be at every class, every day, for every hour that you can to be in there? And the thing is that the minute you stop doing that, it's you may as well just reassess what's going on, right? Because there's something happened to where you couldn't do it anymore, and whether that's injury, whether that's mental fatigue, whether that's something else, you have to reassess what's going on. So if you're mentally fatigued, something else is contributing to that. It's not jiu-jitsu, right? Because if you're able to throw all of your effort into jiu-jitsu, you shouldn't be really much. I mean, you'll be mentally fatigued because you're tired because you've been working, but you shouldn't have any fatigue from any other stressors in life because that's all you're focused on, right? And
or anything in life, right?
You see the kids and like for me, the people who master things the best are children. You know what I'm saying? You see kids coming up and that's their life. That's all they know.
Do you think it's because they don't know how to stress just quite yet?
No, I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think it's that they have nothing else to do. What are the things that would pull them away from doing this activity? You know what I'm saying? I look at myself as a young hockey player, as a kid. Like, what else was I doing? It was either playing hockey, training for hockey, playing video games. My friends took a back seat. You know what I'm saying? My family was there with me all the time. So, like, it was all I knew was hockey. You know what I'm saying? And yes, school is a thing, and yes, school adds stress. But at the same time, it's like, that's your only activity. That's the only thing that you do. That's the only thing you really truly care about. Like, you don't have anything else to worry about. You don't have to worry about bills. You don't have to worry about girlfriends. You don't have to worry about any of that if you don't want to. Do you know what I'm saying? That's a choice you have to make. And that's something that Josh says all the time. He's like, if you're willing to sacrifice, are you willing to sacrifice things to make this work? Because that's what it's going to take. If you want to be here at this is the pinnacle of the sport, you're going to need to sacrifice a lot. You're going to need to sacrifice everything. You know what I'm saying? Some guys may even be packing up and moving. You know what I'm saying? You look at guys like Matt Paul who, they sacrifice basically, I mean, he sacrifices, 50 days of pay, at his job or anything to go train in Colorado or Vegas, wherever he's at. And he goes to go get ready for a fight to make money that is still probably less than what he would have made if he went every single day to work. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
well, see, that's kind of the question here. Like, that's in Matt's case, it's playing the long game. And here's the thing: is like, as people in our everyday lives, we play the short game
for sure.
And I catch myself doing it all the time. I'm like, yo, dude, are you hustling hard right now for a short-term gratification? What are you doing for long-term gratification? And it's kind of like the podcast is. I look at it as long-term gratification, and I look at some of the things I do in life, like even school. Like, school is a weird one for me because everybody wants you to have that stupid piece of paper that says, hey, you did well. And not only am I doing well, I'm graduating with honors and all that. Humble brag. Yeah,
sick, dude.
But like,
I'm just kidding. Awesome, man. I'm really proud. That's super dope.
I love your sarcasm because
no, it's really that's super dope that you are graduating with honors. That means you put your whole ass into it. You know what I'm saying? If you can graduate with honors and you graduate really with high grades and high marks, like, that means you actually gave a fuck about what you were doing. You actually put your ass into it.
Well, see, that goes into this whole topic of what we're talking about right now. Is like, I find myself like putting a lot of effort into these things that I've mentioned a minute ago. But the things that like I'm in this weird position where I don't feel satisfied because the things I want to put a lot of effort in, I can't.
How tired are you? You know what I'm saying? When you're putting in you're putting in all this effort into school and everything else and all the things that you have to do, that the world tells you that you have to do. How tired are you after you're done doing all of those things, right?
Oh, I'm redlining all the time.
Exactly.
But like, just like you got to be redlining all the time.
And that's the thing is like, it's about understanding that like you're making sacrifices to be better for you're doing it's not necessarily, it's short goals, right? It's what's important next. You know, what is the short-term goal to give to the long-term goal, right? So your short-term goal is to finish school so that you can, you know, whatever it may be. So you do these short-term goals, and they all add up to bring you this big prize at the end of the road. You know what I'm saying? You sacrifice a couple nights a week of sleep so that you can study a little bit harder so you can get a good score on your test. That would be the short. You do well in school, you do all those things right, you get your diploma, get a good job, and like that's the mindset that short to long goal kind of strategy, ideology, if you will. But for me, it's like you can only give yourself 100% for so long until you just fucking crap out. And the thing is that you have to find a pace that you can keep forever.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the hard part, is like you see people, especially like people in new relationships or people in new jobs and people in everything, like they fucking push. You know what I'm saying? You see most people who get a new gig and they're fucking clipping, and they're at a pace that it's frantic. It's a frantic pace. You meet a new girl and you're at a frantic pace to try to keep her, and you're at a frantic pace to do these. And then like all of a sudden it's just like, whoa, I can't keep this pace. And then all of a sudden it becomes, whoa, is this really even me? Am I losing myself in all of this? And then it's like, whoa, what the fuck? And then you start second guessing yourself, and you start redlining yourself, and you're just like, oh, I'm tired. And then it's like, oh, I don't even want to do this anymore.
Can we call that the white belt jiu-jitsu mentality? Because think about it, when you see new people, they go hard.
Oh, yeah.
Burning, all that ATP out of their muscles and things like that. And then by the time they, gain a little bit of experience, they're like, man, what was I thinking those first few months on the mat?
What's the difference if I tap you 5 times or I tap you once? And I smother you the whole time, and I control you the whole time, and I break you the whole time? What's the difference? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, what's the difference? I can tap you 5 times in a row, and you'll be like, man, he's really good. He tapped me 5 times in a row. You could also argue the fact that, man, he's really good. I couldn't do anything. That whole round. And I'm not tired after that because I'm keeping a pace that's sustainable. And
Right.
I think that is the biggest metaphor of life, is keeping a sustainable pace. And it doesn't mean you have to be a lazy fuck. Like, I'm not saying don't, like, push. But
know when to push.
But know when to push. Know when to step on the gas. Know when to accelerate. Know when to dial it back. Because there's a reason why there's speed limits on the road, right? You're not going to drive 190 miles the whole way. 190 miles an hour the whole way.
So let's continue on that. Like, do you think it takes experience? Do you think experience is that one big factor, that whether it's jiu-jitsu, whether it's relationships, whether it's you're new on a job, once you get experience and you're like, okay, once you have that experience, this is how I can just maintain and without killing myself and get the job done, whether it's, all those facets. How do you, when you're starting something new, even when you know that information, because you're like, okay, I've been on the mats a while, I've been in multiple new relationships, I've had a few new jobs. When you go to something new, we always go back to that white belt mentality of like, okay, let's push hard and prove a point. And that's our pride and ego and things like that. How do we kill that? But without killing, like we were talking about earlier,
Without killing your pace.
Killing the pace, killing the quit in yourself. You know what I mean? Like, because you don't want to just come in and just, like you're saying, be lazy, but you want to set a good tone, but you want to set a sustainable tone, whether it's like your first roll in a night and you haven't been on the mats in a while. You want to set a tone where you can roll, for 45 minutes, an hour, whatever it is your goal is that you're looking for. How do you think you set that tone in life, whether it's relationships, work, or on the mats? Like, how do you continually do that?
I mean, in life, I'm just sitting there thinking about, like, what can I do to be better? And, what do I need to do to be better? When I look at those two things, then I'm like, okay, well, I can kind of map this out. Then it's like, well, what can I contribute every day, a little bit every day, to build to that goal, 1% better every day. And that's the way that I look at things, So if you're a person and, let's say that, you just move in with somebody and, you're trying to outdo everything, you're trying to keep the house super clean. You're trying to, you're trying to do laundry all the time. You're trying to do dishes all the time. You're trying to cook all the time. You're trying to, you're trying to just do everything. you have to realize that you can't do everything, and you have to, once again, take a step back and say, I can do this much every day. Be realistic with yourself, be realistic with each other, and set realistic expectations. And I think that's the same thing you need to do with jiu-jitsu, is set realistic expectations for yourself. I can realistically go to the gym 2 times a week. If I can get 3 to 4, awesome. If I can't, awesome. Because I know that I can go twice a week to the gym, and I can put in 2 days a week hard. Is it bad that you can't put in 5? Sure. I mean, if you want to put in 5, put in 5. If you get the opportunity to put in 5, put in 5. But like, you'll burn yourself out. And it's about recognizing that as soon as you walk into the door anywhere new, that this is what you have to offer. There's a reason why you're here. And it's not, and yes, it's because you work hard, and yes, it's because you do that, but like, it's not about going at a crazy output all the time. It's impossible to do. You'll kill yourself, and if not, the minute you slip up, the minute you give anything less than like what you think is this crazy pace, this I'm doing everything pace, the minute you do a little bit less than that, you feel like you had a terrible day.
Yeah. Oh, man, that all hits home so well. I want to get into the last big point of all that is once you're trying to find that balance and all this, what do you do once you realize you have a bad habit in something, no matter what it is? Once you realize, like, oh, damn, that's a bad habit, how do you overcome that? And we can stick to the mats, we can stick to life, whatever you want to talk about.
I mean, we can talk in life and mats. It's the same thing. I mean, if you realize you have a bad habit, most of the time, like, if you're the one realizing it, most of the time it's already become more than what you think it is, right? It becomes so habitual you realize it. That's how deep in you are. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you have people around you who are realistic, who are not yes men, who can, give you a no shit assessment of how you are, because if you have a bad habit of, like, let's say you lie a lot, or let's say you are a person who doesn't, let's just say you're somebody who doesn't put out 100%, or you didn't work, and like people don't call you out on that, then you won't ever realize it before. The minute you realize that you have a bad habit, I think the habit's so far gone that it's in you. That point in time, that's a big, big, big life change. You know what I'm saying? You need a big shake up to change that. You know what I'm saying? Once you can sit down and look yourself in the mirror and be like, oh, fuck, this is bad. You've got to do something drastic to change it, and you've got to shake shit up. And that may be getting out of the situation that you're in. That may be getting out of this sleepwalking situation. I mean, dude, I was in the worst bad habit of my life. I was just fucking coasting. I was coasting through life. I was coasting through everything. And, like, to me, that is the worst habit you could have.
Like all aspects of life?
All aspects of life. I was doing the jack of all trades, 20% in on everything, because, you can't give 100% to everything. But you can give 20%.
Just enough to get by.
Just enough to get by. And you know what? That's the worst fucking habit you can have. And it takes a big shake up to fucking change that. It takes a big shake up to change your perspective of that, and to change your perception of like what your life really is. And I think that most of the times bad habits could be like, let's say you say a lot, when you talk, or let's say you say, what are the 1,000, words? Yeah,
Yeah.
I say it all the time.
I do too.
And
I say and I say
Yes.
Say them all.
So the big thing is talking and recognizing that you say those things, and to clean them up. And in order to say those things, you have to be conscious of not saying, well, it's like this, be confident in what you say. And I think a lot of that stems from being unconfident and not being confident in life, and that's one little bad habit that most people have, that most people don't ever call anybody out on. Like, you say a lot, or, you say like a lot. Nobody says that shit to anybody.
No, especially in school, when you should say that to people, like when you're in a speech class. I think that's when it should be said, but everybody's too afraid to say it.
The problem
is nobody wants to be the asshole that does say it.
The problem is that society is so soft these days that you can't tell anybody anything without somebody getting hurt by it, and getting offended by it. And, like, to me, that's the reason that a lot of people struggle. That's the reason that a lot of people have, the the complexes and struggles that they have because they haven't been faced with that in a controlled environment like high school or college. Now everything's about a safe space. You know, even when I was coming up, it was kind of coming towards that, and it was just like, why is there such an emphasis on how this person feels when this is the wrong way to look at it? This is not what you're trying to do. This is what we're trying to avoid this. We're trying to keep you from saying and like in a speech class. We're trying to make you better public speakers. We're trying to make you there it is.
See, yeah, we've said and you know and like so many times. These people are gonna be like, these hypocrites,
these fucking idiots. But the thing is that you just need to slow down and think about what you're saying. Slow down and take a breath, and slow down and be confident in your delivery. Because the minute you walk into a room, if you're like nobody's gonna take you fucking seriously.
Do you think that's the problem with my jujitsu and new people? Let's say I'm 2.5 years in, off and on, of that kind of stuff. Do you think it's just we just all need to slow down? Whether it's relationships, whether it's at work, whether it's with our friends, are we living life too fast?
I think everybody
through social media and all that.
Everybody wants to run to the top, and everybody wants to see the highlights, right? Social media is all about the highlights. It's about the glory, and it's an unrealistic expectation.
It's all about the master of the trade and not the jack of all trades.
It's all about just like, look at me, look at me, look at me. It's all about attention. And for me, I don't need your attention to be, or I need the attention from a very select few people to give me validation. I don't need attention from fucking people I've never met before. That doesn't make me feel better. I don't get off on likes. I don't get off on any of that shit. Like, to me, the biggest thing is, do my friends, do those who I trust, do those who I hold close and near and dear to my heart, do they respect me? If the answer is yes, I'm doing a fucking good job. If the answer is no, why don't they respect me? What am I doing wrong? What am I doing differently? How can I change their perception of me? Right? And that's the biggest thing to me is that, be a good person. Nobody gives a fuck about how many bottles you pop this weekend. Nobody gives a fuck about what car you're driving. Nobody gives a fuck about how big your house is or how sick your Rolex is. Nobody cares. At least I don't. And if you do care about that materialistic bullshit, whatever. I mean, to each their own.
Yeah. I think the big factor in all that is we all have to realize, like, even if we become, a black belt in jiu-jitsu, a black belt as a doctor and whatever we do, we got to realize that we're all going to die one day.
Yeah, you can't take that shit with you.
Let's treat each other accordingly.
You can't take your Ferrari with you.
You can't take it with you.
You can't take it with you. And you know what? And yes, it's cool to have nice things. It's awesome to have them. And I'm like, just like everybody else, I want nice things. I like luxuries. I like those things. But I don't feel the need to go out and flaunt them to people. I don't feel the need to be like, oh man, you have this or you have that. That doesn't fucking matter, and it shouldn't matter, because the social media is like literally destroying our like moral fabric. It's making everything just so blown out of proportion, so not realistic. Yeah. I look at my friends on Facebook and like, I'm like, dude, like, what the fuck do you guys do? Like, what are you guys doing all day? Where you're like, oh, I'm in Turks and Caicos, I'm in this and that. And it's like, all right, cool, like you're doing that, but like, what else are you doing? Like, how's your regular life? Like, what else is going on?
Yeah, when you're not showing off to everybody.
And people ask me all the time, they're like, oh, well, how's jiu-jitsu? How's that? I could say every single day, oh, man, it's going great. I'm training every day, blah, blah, blah.
Well, I was going to get to that, like, because people could say the same about, like, when we're posting, gym pics and this
Sure,
and that.
It's like, but I could say, for me, more so the gym pics are marketing for Josh and for 10th Planet. It's to show that there are people there and people are on the mats and we're having a great time.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who sees it that way.
No. That's how I see it. I don't see it as I'm bragging because I went to the gym. It's not I'm lifting in the corner. Look at me, I'm getting swole. That's a different story. If you're proud of the progress you're putting in the gym and you've, A, lost a ton of weight, B, made huge gains, you're fucking jacked out of your mind now. Show it off. Be proud of yourself. Yeah. Awesome.
Well, it's because I was going to say, like, life is so contradicting in that fact, like, when we try to have good intentions, but yet they can come across, like negative, like, oh, this person thinks they're better than me because I'm lifting all this much, but yet in your mind, maybe you'd be like, oh, well, I'm promoting this gym I'm working out at or whatever, you know what I mean? And people and everybody's going to get lost in that. So like, and the theme I've kind of noticed too is like, you can't dictate too much of your own mindset on what other people think.
That's what'll kill you. If you're so worried about what everybody thinks all the time, you're never going to be able, like, you shouldn't worry about everybody. You can't worry about everybody. It's impossible to. There's so many fucking people in this world
that are so different.
You can have a great outward presentation of yourself. You can carry yourself well. You can do all those things right. You can be well spoken. You can be a good person. You can be an amazing person. So when somebody does meet you, or you do encounter somebody and they're like somebody important, or maybe they're not fucking important, it doesn't matter.
But that's up to each person whether they're important or not. It's all perception.
So you can say, to me, I will treat everybody the same as if they were the CEO of a company. I would treat the CEO of a company the same way as I would treat the help staff.
Yeah, the janitor.
You know what I'm saying? I don't put anybody on a fucking pedestal. I don't put anybody up there. Like, nobody, I'm not here fanboying anybody. Like, you're a person. I'm a person. You're really good at whatever you're doing to be here. Congratulations. It's very nice to meet you. My name's so-and-so.
Yeah.
But it's not like, I'm not going to put somebody down because they're lower status, or if you want to even fucking say that. Like, I don't even see that. Like, to me, it's just like, everybody's a person. Everybody's nice. Like, just fucking treat everybody everybody with respect, man, because you know what, like, it's the little people in life that will help you along the most, and it's the big people in life that really don't give two fucks about you anyway. So it doesn't matter what your presentation is to them, as long as you look decent, and as long as you're a good person, as long as you smile, shake hands, and make eye contact, and look nice, and say, you know, it's very nice to meet you, and be respectful. They're not going to remember you one way or the other, but they will remember you if you're a fucking asshole. You know, people will remember you if you're a dick. You know, I remember people who flip you off on the road. Like, you remember that person. You're like, dude, that person was such an asshole, or whatever. And you're like, what the hell? Or somebody at the bar gives you a hard time. You're like, that guy was such an asshole. I don't understand. Very rarely do you remember the person who was like, oh, hey, it was very nice to meet you. But if you encounter them again, you're like, holy fuck, that was the same guy who was super respectful to me. I like this person. And it allows you to build good rapport with them.
Yeah. See, well, like, it's back to that really quickly, and then I want you to wrap up with something. But back to the person that flips you off, or the person that does something that just, it seems so obscene or so bizarre that just kind of runs your day in a way, is I always tell myself, don't ever let those people get power over you. Because once you let that get to you, and once they control your emotions, they control you.
For sure.
And I always tell myself, don't ever let those people have control of you. If they want to be that way, let them be that way. Don't let them have the power over you to run your day. You're in control of your own day. And that's what's so funny about, you know, talking about the highs and lows is, yeah, we are in control of that. But, you know, damn it, sometimes, John, I can't let that go, and I ride those highs and lows like I'm a pro surfer.
I mean, look, the biggest thing is that if somebody rubs you the wrong way, you can handle it one of two ways. You can either be affected by it and angry, or you could just be apathetic towards it and just be like, whatever. Maybe they were having a bad day. You don't know what kind of day they had. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know the day that person who flipped me off had. It's the same way that, like, when people on the mats, like, this is a huge correlation on the mats, like, people, you know, you get white belts or blue belts that tap out brown and black belts. Dude, you don't know what kind of day that brown or black belt had. You know what I'm saying? You may be very good, and you may be on your way to a purple belt as a blue belt, or a purple belt to a brown belt, but you don't know the day that brown belt had. Maybe he got fired from his fucking job, and, like, maybe his wife's leaving him. Maybe he can't make fucking his mortgage. Maybe he can't put food on the table for his family, and he's just coming here to just find a collective people. And, like, you know what? You might get over on him that day, but you don't know the day that person had, because we know what's fucked up is when you walk into the gym. Most people are tired. Most people worked a 9 to 5 that day, right? So it's for me, I'm a person who, when I go to the gym, I'm never concerned about what the taps are, or what the bullshit is. Like, if you tap me, great. You don't know what my day was like. I might have had the worst day of my life. I might have lifted fucking 7,000 boxes. I don't know. I might have pushed a truck or something. So, like, you don't know what I did.
Yeah,
so
got dumped or whatever. Like, there's
I got family
member died. Or something.
And you know what? And that's the best part about the gym, is that you should be able to go to that place and put out whatever you're willing to put out. And that's the best part about jiu-jitsu, is you're gonna get out of it whatever you want to put into it. And that's why to me it's so special. You don't have to put in, and, like, this is gonna sound real fucked up, you don't have to put in 100% every single day to get something out of it. It's about showing up, right? The minute you show up, you've already made more progress than you would have if you didn't, right? Does that necessarily mean I showed up and sat in the corner and didn't do fuck all? Like, no, you could have stayed home and done that too. But I showed up. I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to try. I might be a little bit beat up. I might be a little bit sore. I may not be very good in rolls tonight. But I showed up. And that's the first step. And to me, that's 3/4 of the battle, is showing up.
Damn it, John, I love you, man. This is why I love talking to you, because I feel like I don't feel like I know. I walk away a better person after every conversation, and luckily enough, I've had 2 recorded conversations with you. The first one I was telling you earlier, I was like, man, I was listening back to our old episode, and I'm a terrible host.
No, you're awesome, man. I love being on this podcast with you. I love talking with you.
Dude, I appreciate it. But before we get out of here, I want you to give the listeners something valuable of when you realize that you have a bad habit, like we were talking about a little bit ago.
Yeah.
Once you realize it, is there a tactic you use to overcome that bad habit and eliminate it?
Yeah.
Or at least change it to see if the next habit's better?
Absolutely. When you realize you have a bad habit, you need to shake things up. For me, when I realized I have a bad habit, the one thing that I had a bad habit of, and I still do, and it's being messy. I had clutter, and like I don't always put my clothes away and shit, and like my car is usually kind of messy and stuff like that. So what I try to do is when I see a bad habit like that, is if my bed's not made, I try to make my bed every morning. And to me, that starts the day right. You know, it starts the day on the right foot. That's something I've been doing for the last 5-6 months here, you know, is making my bed and starting the day right like that. And it makes a world of difference because I can leave knowing that I did something right to start the day. After that, if I have a lot of mess in my car, if I don't have time to clean it, when I go near, you know, a garbage can, I'll just take one bottle and throw it out. Or whatever I can carry in my hand, I'll throw it out. Maybe that's not everything. Maybe I'm not cleaning my car all the time, but I'm reducing the shit that I have in my car. Or I'm reducing the shit that I have, you know, in the garage or wherever. I'm just taking a little bit at a time, right? So where it becomes routine. Because the same thing that brought you to that bad habit is the same thing that's going to get you out of that bad habit, right? So the same routine that got you into it, you just reverse the routine to get you out of it.
So small victories at a time to win the war.
Absolutely. I mean, it's the same thing as like eating a ton and putting on a ton of weight. You know what I'm saying? It didn't happen overnight. You didn't get fat. You didn't put on 50 pounds in a week. Put it on over, you know, a few months or a year. It's going to take you twice as long to get it off, right? It's going to take you twice as long to lose that weight. It's going to take you twice as long to fix that bad habit, but you just have to stay vigilant. You have to stay with it. And if there is an issue that you have and you do struggle with something, you should just ask somebody for some help. Because if you're struggling with, you know, I'm sure there's people who have tons of bad habits like smoking and shit like that. Like I vape. I used to have a terrible habit of chewing tobacco. And
looks like you're addicted to a hard drive right now.
I used to have a terrible habit of chewing tobacco, and it stopped, you know, due to necessity, because when I went to Canada, it was really expensive. You know, chewing tobacco is like $20 a can out there. You know, it's $4 here. So, I mean, you can get chew for cheap out here. But when you go out there, like, you don't have money, so you just don't do it. Or you ration it. And then once it's gone, it's gone. You know what I'm saying? So, for me, those are things like...
So, I like that. You ration your bad habit.
You ration your bad habit till it's gone. And for me, that's what you're doing when you take out a little bit of garbage here and there, or you do a little bit of something extra to help reduce that bad habit. You just ration it until it's gone, and then once it's gone, you just let it fucking go.
Dang, dude, that's what's up. Dude, I appreciate you so much.
Why? I didn't do anything.
Yeah, you did.
I just showed up, man.
Hey,
I showed up after a long fucking drive, man.
I told you I needed a good conversation today, and I feel like not only did I get that, I got a little bit more.
Well, I appreciate it, man. I just, you know, I love being able to talk on air. It's fun, it's different, and it's something that, you know, I enjoy doing. You know, we should make these a little bit longer if you want to do it next time, you know.
We definitely should. All right, John, tell them where you're at again on Instagram. I don't know if you're on Twitter, but at Facebook. Let them come find you.
You can find me on Instagram at missingjibs, MISSINGJIBBS. you know, I'm doing just, you know, regular people shit right now. I'm not doing anything crazy with jiu-jitsu.
Can I say something that I know that would maybe a little bit fit into your personality?
Sure.
Can you become the Derek Lewis, the Black Beast MMA for my Instagram of friends? Can you start posting just a bunch of those videos and, you know, just go knock a dude out in the third round with 15 seconds left?
Dude, my fighting days are past me, man. I don't have that.
Yeah, but your Instagram game is not. You could definitely be.
Oh,
Derek, have you followed that guy?
Yeah, he puts up a lot of like weird shit. But like to me, those Instagram pages, like he probably has a social media guy behind him who's telling him to post like viral shit so that he can get more likes. And like, there's a ton of people that have told me like, hey, you know, like if you want to get more likes, you know what gets likes? Inspirational quotes and quotes about relationships. Those get the most likes, right? So, like, if you really wanted to do it, you could put inspirational quotes up every day, and then there's hashtag bullshit, and you can get likes. And, like, that's not what it's about for me. It's about putting out good content that I'm doing, good content that's real for me. But, you know, if you want some good memes and shit, I'll send them to you.
That's what I'm talking about. You and Matt have the best memes.
Oh, to be honest, I just steal Matt's memes. He's got the best memes. I don't have the best memes.
Do you watch Matt's Instagram stories?
Oh, dude, Matt is a fucking riot.
Whenever we're talking about being in my head earlier, whenever I'm in my head and I see Matt has a new story, I just look at that and I just smile before I even click on it. And I'm like, Matt's about to brighten my day up.
Dude, he's got a fight this weekend.
He does.
He's
we should talk about this really quickly.
Let's talk about it. Yeah,
really quickly, and we'll get out of here.
Yeah. He's got a fight this weekend in Iowa. I mean, dude's been training his fucking ass off for it. You know, he's been in Colorado training in elevation with you know, I don't want to name drop everybody. He's been training with Curtis Blades, you know, Neil Magny, dudes like that, like high profile dudes. And
so we say that, but like when we also say Matt Paul's name, like that's the same feeling I get. I feel like Matt is like, this is as corny as it sounds.
He's like,
he's my UFC champion in a way. Like I know this dude and I want him to, like, I've never wanted anybody to win so badly until I watch you and Josh, all the guys at the gym, and Matt when he fights. Like I never rooted for somebody so much.
I just want, you know, he's probably my best friend, man. Like, I just want him to do well. I don't want to see him, you know, you never want to see him get hurt. He's in a fucking position where this is kill or be killed. He's in a sport that's very, very, it's either you win or you fucking get your ass beat. There's no, like, real in between, and it's very, very...
Yeah, look at Conor McGregor Khabib last weekend. That's the same thing.
Hopefully, you know, Matt doesn't jump out of the fucking cage and waffle stomp the guy's head.
I hope not, but I hope he's the Khabib of his fight this weekend.
I just, you know, I think for me, I just, you know, hope that he comes out unscathed. He comes out, you know, with a clean victory, and, you know, his opponent isn't fucked up either. I know that in his mind he's trying to kill that man, but that's fine. He can do whatever he wants to do in his head, and he can get it fucking done in the ring if he wants to. But, you know, I just hope that everybody, you know, has a good showing, and it's a good match, good sportsmanship. Nobody gets fucked up too bad. And I know it sounds so fucking soft, but, like, you know, when your boy's fighting, you just don't want to see anybody get hurt.
No, you don't. And like we're saying, we just want him to win. And since this is going to come out Monday after the fight over the weekend, let's just go ahead and pretend that Matt won. Congratulations, buddy. We're proud of you, no matter.
Oh, wow, you're calling your shots like that.
I am.
Okay,
I believe in him. I believe in him.
I believe in
so
it too.
Much.
I mean, I just also don't like putting like wild shit like that out there. But you know, he's gonna go and he's gonna fucking get it done, and he's gonna, you know, win, lose or draw, he's still a fucking animal, and he's still one of the best people that I know, and he's the type of guy who'll give his shirt off of his back for you, and he'll go through a fucking wall for you, and to me those are the type of people you need in your life.
Right, and that's the reason why I'm saying I believe in him so much.
Oh, dude, he's going to fucking waffle stomp this guy, but...
All right, buddy. Any last parting words right here?
Yeah, drink Monster Energy drinks. No, I'm just kidding. Fuck you, Monster.
Did you just give a...
Yeah, fuck you, Monster. You don't give me shit, so...
No free ads.
No free ads. No, I just want to shout out to everybody that believes in me, my family, my girlfriend, you know, the guys at the gym.
I believe in you,
I'll be there soon. I'm sorry that I'm not around, and it's fucking... It kills me, dude. It kills me. I'm getting choked up right now thinking about not being on the mat. So I'll be back soon. I'll be getting after it real quick. But you know, it's been a wild ride these last 6 months, but it's stabilizing, and that's good.
Yeah, we got a little wild there at the end here.
Oh, what? Because I swore at Monster and told him to eat a bag of dicks.
Well, yeah, that, and then we were already I was already celebrating Matt, like, and I hope he does win because I appreciate him so much.
I mean, we're just having a good time. I just, you know, hey, listen, The mic's live. You're gonna talk some shit. You're gonna have some fun. And that's all it's about.
That's what it's all about.
It's all about just having a little bit of fun, talking a little shit, and
I hope whoever's stuck in this long in this podcast hears all this, and I hope you're smiling.
It's not even that long, so settle down, boys, because it's gonna be like 3 hours one day. So.
Boys and girls.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
boys
by
and
the
girls,
way,
and any other gender that you may associate with.
There's 72 of them.
You're kidding.
No, I think there may be more now. I don't know. It's been 2 months.
You're kidding.
No, I promise you. I go to an art school.
72 genders?
Yeah. I can't name them. Don't ask me.
What?
Yeah.
All right. So if anybody knows, just tag Steven or tag myself and how many genders there are, because that is. I'm not saying it's preposterous, but that is a lot of genders. I thought.
Let's get the conversation going.
Yeah.
Let's be educated.
Yeah. Teach me, tell me, so that I don't go and what's the word? Trigger or upset anybody.
I'm sure we just triggered 70 genders right there.
I'll be straight up. I don't give a fuck. But it's all right. It's okay. I just, it's good to know, and I'm just not trying to cause any issues with anybody. So,
All right.
Let me know.
We're getting outlandish.
Yeah, we're getting wild out here.
All right, everybody. This has been a great episode of Head Kick Radio. I appreciate you, John, for coming on again for the 1,000th time that I've said that.
Yep. No worries, man. No worries, man. Dean, you're not even that good at podcasting, buddy.
Oh, I love that. This is going to be good in the gym. All right, everybody. We out. What's up, everybody? Steven back here with a little bit of bonus coverage for you guys. So if you stuck in this long, I'm asking you to stick through the outro music here, because we got John and I got in touch with Matt Paul before his fight, which will be last Saturday, and did a quick little interview. And I promise you guys, John was sober, even though I had to do a little editing touch-up. I'm going to ask Matt for his approval for me to air this. And if he gives it a go, then, hey, it's what you're hearing right now, and I hope you all enjoy it.
Oh, that would do it.
What a rookie move.
That and, when do you go to Hawaii?
Oh, shit, I forgot about that. I gotta look that up.
Are you still going?
I don't know.
Oh, you got old lady now. You should probably reevaluate that one, but I'll leave that one up to you, bud. But yeah, Steve wants to do fucking Lewis, Derek Lewis and fucking who's he fighting? DC?
DC.
Yeah, he wants to do Derek Lewis and DC fight companion, me, you, Dean, and him.
Oh God.
Yeah, so he wants to do that, but just say a little bit about your fight coming up.
All right.
So hold on, wait, I gotta figure out where the fucking sound comes out of. Yeah, it comes out the bottom. So, yeah, Matt, tell us a little bit about your fight coming up, man. We're just pretty excited to, I mean, I'm not going to be there because I got to be in fucking Fort Wayne watching these kids. but I know that you got a scrap coming up. I know you've been training hard in elevation right now. Let us know how you're feeling and give us your thoughts.
Well, I don't know. I'm feeling good. I lost a bunch of weight. Training's been going good. Elevation's a real thing.
Yeah.
Brittany and I are heading to the sauna right now.
Oh, Brittany and Matt going to the sauna. Is she going to help you cut weight for this one?
She got to cut weight too. She's got a title fight.
Yo, she's fighting for the title?
Fight to win. She has the title.
Oh, fight to win title fight. I thought she was fighting for a title, but still, that's dope. I hope she lays that chick out.
I'm sure she will.
Yeah, I'm sure she will too. She's an animal. But you're feeling good right now? You getting good training in down there?
Yeah, just been putting in work everywhere at Easton's, High Altitude, Landau. Brittany brought me up to the compound a couple times.
Sick.
And, getting all parts of training in.
Nice, man.
Come kick some dude in the head.
Yeah, that's good. Wait, you're going to kick him in the head? That's not the game plan, but it might be. But, yeah, Matt, just wanted to say what's up, man. We all just want to wish you good luck and just fuck this guy up, eh?
I think I could do that for you guys.
Yeah,
as long as I get back on the podcast.
Yeah, you'll get back on the podcast. Hopefully you're around November 3rd and we can do Derek Lewis DC and get after it. Maybe have a couple cocktails and get a little bit.
Well, it is my birthday, so I guess I can clear my plate out for you.
Yeah, let's we'll get a little wild in here with old White Chocolate and Matt Monster Paul.
That's what's up, Matt.
That sounds like a deal. Snap and slap.
Snapping slats, boys. All right, Matty, we're gonna let you go, bud.
All right, Matt, go win one for us, brother.
Will do.
All right, bye.
John, that was the wildest post-fight little interview ever.
Yeah, I mean, we get after it. I mean,
Is this gonna be a little bonus coverage?
yeah, I mean, it's just it's a little tidbit, and Matt just,
I'm gonna have to heavily edit that because I think you called kids,
probably just scrub it.
No, this is gonna be a good practice episode for me because I'm gonna put a nice bleep in. The fans are gonna hear this. They're gonna be like, "Hey, Steven's up in his game."
Oh yeah, well, too bad you didn't bleep the rest of my episode.
I don't have enough time to go bleep enough on
Yeah,
those.
no,
I mean, I
that's
said some
wild.
words too.
That's wild.
Dude, I'm so excited for Matt.
Yeah, so my man, that got me really hype, and we wish him all the best, and we hope he just lays this guy out.
All right, guys, if you stuck around this long after the exit music, then you heard Matt Paul said he's going to get back on Head Kick Radio.
Oh yeah,
Big
hopefully
news.
it's November 3rd for Derek Lewis Fight Companion.
Let's go. Big things are coming.
Big things, White Chocolate, you ain't shit.
Again, he's after you, brother. It's good stuff. We out.